Hello and welcome to the first episode of the third season of A Day in the District. A Day in the District is a show designed to help you, the viewer, stay connected to your Gary Community School Corporation. I'm your host, Chelsea Whittington, and so delighted to be here this homecoming week at Westside Leadership Academy. And what better way to kick off homecoming week than to have a conversation with our school leaders. To my immediate left is our manager, Dr. Mike Raisor, and to his left is our Chief of Schools, Dr. Esther Goods. Welcome back to the show. I believe this is my first time having the two of you together. I've had you both on the show separately, and we are now a month into the school year and 4 months into your tenure. I will start with you, Dr. Raisor. How are you loving Gary schools?
Oh, I'm loving things. We've got school off to a great start. We've got our first meeting tonight of our school board at a public meeting, and really excited to share the great things we're doing here and look at the path forward.
Yeah, I think it was very timely that you got the opportunity to come in and spend a summer with us before kicking off the school year because, truth be told, as you would agree, Dr. Goods, that it's the busiest time. It's the summertime as you get ready. Even though kids aren't in school proper, we have a lot going on in the summertime. So what were some of the things that you were able to see and accomplish during the summer?
Well, it was nice during the summer. I was able to get out to summer school. I was able to visit all of our schools multiple times and then also help prepare for the school year. Instituted a first day of school task force that Dr. Goods chaired, and we were able to really prepare for that, but also see the great things we were doing to improve the schools. You know, looking at the gym at Westside and the new floor and how beautiful that looks and the mural, but then other improvements just all over the district to make sure that we had the schools ready for the start.
Yeah. Now, Dr. Goods, right as we were closing out the school year, we announced your title as Chief of Schools. And, you know, we were all just like, well, what is that? And so you've had the summer to embrace that role, make it your own. Can you tell those who are not quite aware of your role and how you have made it your own as Chief of Schools?
Sure. So I think it evolves every day.
Okay.
But I think that Chief of Schools at this point deals with anything that's taking place in schools. And you know, schools is the heart of what we do. We're all about teaching and learning, but then there's all of these things that make teaching and learning happen. And so I get a chance to dibble and dabble, not only in what is our forefront academics, but like the Locker Project or the new, let's see, what have we gotten new recently?
We have so many new
right,
things.
I can't even, the basketball courts in the middle schools and the high school, the just all of the different things that are going on that help make academics the forefront. I get an opportunity to interact with all of those different groups like security and maintenance and the folks that are in data, the IT department, instructional technology. I've gotten an opportunity to help make it work so that we do have that clean teaching and learning environment for
I love it.
teachers and students.
I would say that's an asset for you, Dr. Raisor, but you have shared with us on occasion that you come from environments where there are tons and tons and tons of schools. We are a nice, close-knit 12-school operation. What has been that experience, and what's the difference, and what makes it even more hands-on for you?
Well, what I love about it is, like, for example, when I was in Louisville, it might be twice a year I could visit a school just to make sure I was hitting them all. You know, I'm at about a 2-week rotation of all of our schools right now, which I really like, and it lets we can really impact teaching and learning. And and the other thing, kind of talking about Dr. Good's role, is she's able to be a one-stop shop for both schools and the community, and it allows our principals and teachers to stay focused on what they're there to do. And that's also great too about the size we are with a chief of schools. A lot of times a district Gary size doesn't have a chief of schools, but I see it as such a valuable position because it gives that resource for schools to not say, well, I don't know who to call. Well, you got one call. And then, if parents have an issue, sometimes it involves multiple departments and maybe even multiple schools. They have a central point of contact. So that is super exciting and very beneficial for the district.
Another thing that I wanted to call your attention to that I'm sure you're feeling. So people were trying to understand, and we're here to help them to understand how the transition back to a local feel is happening. And part of that is the appointment of the school board and you ushering in that process. Talk a little bit about how that's been going with the connection with our new school board.
Well, it's such an exciting year because we are transitioning back to board governance. So this is a year for the school board to orient themselves, to learn the ins and the outs of the district, so they step in very level set and know exactly, what the current situation is and what the aspirations for the future are. I've been so impressed with our school board so far. I keep saying it and I mean it, probably the most accomplished school board that you'll find in America.
Absolutely.
And we're very fortunate to have that in Gary as we move forward. And they're going to be concentrating on this year finding a superintendent to help lead the district for next year and beyond. But we're really just setting the district up for success, and like I said, we're going to take this year to really pave the path forward. And it's such an exciting time that the district is transitioning out of state control and state management and gets to be in control of its own destiny again.
You know what I really love is that my phone doesn't ring as much. The more strides we make as a district, moving through the different processes through DUAB and now with a locally appointed board, it helps people to understand and have actual people they can go to ask questions. And before we take our first break, we have our first meeting tonight. Esther, what do you want to come out of it with the community?
So I want the community to see what we got a chance to see at our retreat last week, the board's retreat. We had an opportunity to see that they are really invested, they care, they want to know all of the inner workings of what's going on in the district and how to support us, meaning that transfers into their children. They care. They want to make sure that we are doing the things that we need to do to support the children in the classroom and overall, that wraparound service and just the overall whole child. So knowing that we have a board that is really invested in seeing Gary successful, the district successful. They have different partnerships that they've worked with or are currently working with that even add to those wraparound services. That we can bring everybody to the table and really move forward.
Moving forward. So when we come back, we'll talk more about moving forward, particularly homecoming, and we'll talk about enrollment. You're watching A Day in the District. Stay right there. We'll be right back.
When you join the Army, the first thing they teach you is how to get in line. Not exactly the same in high school. When I enrolled in Westside Leadership Academy and joined ROTC, the first thing I learned was respect. Not just for God and country, but for myself.
Gary Schools, strong, resilient, built for education.
Oh, beautiful for heroes proved in liberating strife, who more than self their country loved, and mercy more than life.
Welcome back to A Day in the District. We are in season 3, and I am engrossed in an amazing conversation with our manager, Dr. Mike Raisor, and our chief of schools, Dr. Esther Goods. I love saying that because many, many moons ago when we were students here at Westside, it was just Esther. It was just Tanya. Esther, I want to lead with that, though. How does it feel to come full circle in a district that you call your own?
Amazing.
Amazing.
Amazing. Exhilarating. You have highs and lows, but every day that I come in here, I feel like I'm high. I'm up just because this is home. This is what you work for, to be able to see not only the fruits of your labors, But also, when I run into my former educators, folks that educated me, they have a good feeling and that I'm doing right by them.
Yes.
And so, for me, it is full circle because not only do I feel like I have an opportunity to craft or help create the destiny of children and drive them in the right path, but also that my folks were able, they did right by me and they did a great job with me, and I am one of their success stories for
Absolutely.
Gary Community School Corporation.
Dr. Raisor, how do you feel about that spirit? You know, I know you hear it all the time in cabinet and as you go into the community. You will find that the rivalry is fun,
It is.
the memories are there, but they're also looking to you to say, hey, we want our district to be amazing, and how do you fit into that?
So, first I want to say something. You know, so many of the people who I interact with on a daily basis here in the school district aren't here because they have to be. They're here because they want to be. They have a real passion for Gary schools. And that's so important because the school district is the bedrock of its community.
That's right.
And the turnaround that the school district has made should really make the community proud.
Yes.
And you know, I really say that a community really lives and dies by its public school system. And we're on the right trajectory now. And there's a lot of things to be proud of. And you want to celebrate your heritage and your past, but you also want to look forward to that bright future that's ahead. And that's what's exciting. That's what I see in the employees that I interact with is they're excited about the future and excited about the things we're doing here, and they're proud to be part of the Gary Community School Corporation.
Yeah, and we're proud to have you on the team. I had to chuckle in cabinet today when he said the Velt. I said, oh my goodness, he's learning all the dub, the Velt, all of the memories that exist here in the district, but we're also about creating what's new.
That is correct.
And it all goes back to this big letter E in the room. Enrollment. And so we're always enrolling. It's
That's
no
right.
secret to that. But Dr. Goods, you and your team and our FACE liaisons have really jumped in to help us in PR lead the charge to ensure that people know that greatness begins here. Talk about some of the things we've been doing.
Oh my goodness. So, you know, you will probably run into a FACE liaison at every community event that's out there. You might have seen them at the Boys and Girls Club. They were at the 3-on-3 Jamboree. They may be at one of the grocery stores. You might see them in church on Sunday. They are everywhere. They really are the pulse of the community and the school district.
Yes.
My hat is always off to Tennille Foster Millsap and her team because they don't wait to say, what can we do? They say, oh, that you're having that? Well, okay, we're going to be
We'll
there.
be there, yes.
So I always appreciate that because they are that front line. They field questions, concerns, and they're always, you know, pubbing up the great stuff that's happening in Gary schools.
And we join right alongside them. But now there's that side to enrollment that we have to understand, as we were talking during the break. The dynamics of the public schools and just communities and neighborhoods has changed, Dr. Raisor. I was saying that when I was going to elementary school, I knew what school I was going to because it was 2 blocks from my house. And there was a school just about in every community. That is not the case now. So we have our challenges and changes when it comes to transportation, the needs of families, and just the overall dynamic of the community. That's something I'm sure you've seen in other districts and that we continue to address to make sure that they get the experience, not just in the classroom, but on the way, the breakfast, the transportation. Speak to that, Doc.
It takes a lot to run a school district. You know, it is a major operation, and it's a system. And I like to talk about that a lot, how, you know, you have to make sure all parts of the ecosystem are healthy. And we have contracted with a new bus company this year. The client experience, you know, that's what I call it, of our youngest customers is much better. Have there been some hiccups? Transportation's a big issue across the country right now. And compared to other districts, we're doing pretty well. We can do better, and we're striving for that. One of the things I've been really proud of is the quick response time that we're getting when there is an issue, and the responsiveness of, hey, we can do better and we will do better. But you know, you're right. Schools today are way more than the 3 R's. You know, they're community centers. And to your point also, kind of shifting over into the enrollment, you still have the opportunity to go to the school that's closest to you, but we are a district of open enrollment where if you'd like to go to another district and we can work that, or another school and we can work that out,
Right.
we will. You know,
Yeah.
there's something for every student here at Gary Community Schools. And I would say, you know, if you've turned away in the past or you think there's a stigma, please come check out what we have because it's so magnificent. You know, just this studio we're in right here, you know, this isn't some fancy TV studio at a station. This is right here in Westside High School.
Westside Leadership Academy, yes. Shout out to Mark Spencer and his team. And then that leads me over to you, Dr. Goods, because during the pandemic, we had to shut our doors, you know, but we need to let people know that they're back open. And we need that parental involvement. How important is that?
Parental involvement is everything. We are really stressing to parents and to community that we want to partner with you. We know that your students are with us for 7.5 hours a day, but they're with you for the remainder of that time. And so there are things that you can do at home in order to supplement and support what we're doing at school. We're asking parents to read out loud to students. We're asking them to give them that, show them that intonation. We're asking them to reach out to us if you need a book to read, because we want to focus on reading. Now, we know math is my favorite, but definitely have to read. So we're asking them to count at the grocery store. We're asking them to count wherever they go. Don't discount the piece that is so important, talking to your children and having them talk back with you. Academic discourse, which is just talking, is so important and vital to the growth of the child.
Well said. And as we continue to progress into the school year, we'll have more and more opportunities for our parents to get involved. And when we come back, we're going to talk more parent involvement, community involvement, school board, and homecoming. Stay right there.
I said I'd never join.
Thought living on a sub would be too hard.
I figured only the weatherman tracks storms.
I said my job wouldn't matter. Never knew how strong I was. I never thought this would be my commute.
I figured I'd never get out of my hometown.
Or be the one who stops an attack. Joining the Navy sounds crazy. Saying never actually is.
It's gross. I don't really want to talk about it. She didn't want to at first, but I mean, it's no big deal. Everybody does it.
I was ready, totally ready, because we had been practicing this dance for weeks.
He was supposed to take this girl to this dance, but
I sprained my ankle at track practice.
I hate sharing anything personal. It's so disgusting. For the dance, I let her wear my shoes and she hated it, but I thought she looked great in them.
he could barely even walk.
I ended up taking some pills for my pain.
Yeah, they were my mom's, but
it didn't go well.
If it's not yours, if it's not yours,
if it's not yours,
hey you,
don't take it.
Don't take it.
Don't take it.
Don't take it. You won't believe what happened next.
And welcome back to a final segment of A Day in the District. In case you forgot, A Day in the District is a show dedicated to helping you, the viewer, stay connected to your Gary Community School Corporation. And speaking of connections, we are connected to one of our favorite seasons of the year. It's football season, it's homecoming, and while this is homecoming week proper, we have the spirit all the time. So, Dr. Goods, I'll start with you because you have, as a former cheerleader, the exciting assignment of spearheading activities for homecoming and just getting the community involved. What's on deck? Because I believe by the time people watch this episode, we will have won, but let them know what we're doing.
So have you got the spirit?
Yes.
Yeah, man.
Yes.
All right, go Cougars, go Cougars, go Cougars. It is homecoming week, and as you can see today, it's denim day.
Yes, and I have on my orange and blue.
See, Chelsea, but Chelsea is denim.
Yes, I'm
representing
denim.
Mike is going to get a pass because he's
I got a school board meeting.
board meeting ready. So this is Spirit Week, and I think yesterday was Career Day, so we saw several students dressed to impress, and in different career
aspirations.
Yes.
Nice.
Today's denim day, but tomorrow's my favorite. It's Pink Day.
Now, how do we come up with that? Is that
So
breast cancer awareness? What is that?
I was going to say, so I actually was not involved.
I can't believe that.
Okay,
But okay.
I'm just saying
Okay.
that the Cougars are mental telepathy.
They're wearing their pink
They're
tomorrow.
wearing their pink tomorrow. So if you see me flood Facebook with pictures of pink,
So be
just
it.
know I'll be in my element.
Yes. And then Thursday, Friday, I know we have dances, pep
Thursday,
rallies.
I think it's like a throwback day to the
Okay.
90s. And
that's
that's
my
when
era.
we
That's all
graduated.
about our era.
Throwback
I love
to the
it.
90s. I don't
Okay.
know. That just sounds weird. Fridays, of course, Orange and Blue Day.
Okay.
And we are having a pep rally. Saturday, 9 o'clock parade. So we're asking those that are participating to line up at 8:30.
Okay.
We will have a tailgate. The alumni are having a tailgate at about 11 o'clock. We are then having our game at 3 o'clock, and I think there's a homecoming
There's
dance.
a homecoming dance. I've been to
Saturday
one of those.
night.
Dr. Raisor, you might want to, I don't know if you'll be around, but those homecoming dances are all the rage.
They
to
are.
be a fly on the wall in those homecoming dances is something else. But I think that just leads to the importance of school pride. We know test scores, we know enrollment, we know all these things, but it's important to offer that well-rounded extracurricular experience for the students. Talk about that.
It does because your view of school changes. And you know, when you have pride and when the students see that the alumni have pride. And and Gary has its share of pride.
Yes, we do.
And that's a great thing. You know, and we're celebrating that heritage. And again, while we're looking forward and looking to the future, but it plays such a part in it. I mean, I know that I did better in school because I needed grades to play sports.
Okay.
I know my son, for example, that was very much it. He stayed engaged in school because of the extracurricular offerings that were there. But the other thing that comes from pride in school is just pride in what you're doing and making sure, and that's something we want to do this year more than ever, is tell the story of Gary to the community, but also to the state and to the region, where Gary's back.
Yes.
And that's exciting. To be a part of that transition is so exciting.
You talk about being excited about what you do, and then that makes me obviously think about our amazing staff, but we're always hiring. People see me in my blue and orange and they're like, what's Gary Schools? I'm like, yes, and we want the best for our children.
Yes, we do.
Therefore, we want the best team members. Tanya, Dr. Goods, excuse me, what's going on with our hiring process, and who are we looking for? Teachers? Who are we looking for?
So we are looking for a few biology teachers and maybe an Algebra 1 teacher, but that is probably the extent of where we are right now. Oh, pre-K specialists or two, if we can find them. We are definitely looking for the best because our kids deserve the best.
Yes.
And, I think about the pride and the homecoming, and I want to just shout out to all of those, Hornets and Horsemen and Panthers and the Tornadoes. And the Troopers, and even the Tolleson Raiders and the Frable Blue Devils, come on out and join in, because while it looks like it's homecoming for Westside, and we're all at Westside, and going forward, our students are Cougars, your history plays right into what we are today
Yes.
at Westside.
Yes.
And so we acknowledge that.
Yes.
And we're all GCSC, and we want to make sure that you understand that we have teachers from all of those different institutions or not, or from someplace else, but we're in the same game together.
I love
and
it.
so this is a family. And yes, we call it the Cougar family because that's what our students are going to be as they matriculate up through Westside. But this is a family feel, and so if you are looking to join our family, we welcome you.
And they can go right to GarySchools.org to do that from a standpoint of volunteerism as well as working for the
Yes.
district.
Yes.
We have a couple of minutes left, Dr. Raisor, and I want to talk a little bit about your activities when it comes to connecting with community stakeholders. We talked about staff and students, but we know it's important for the organizations, higher ed. What's your work around that in your view?
So it's so important. We cannot do this work alone. So so for example, yesterday went to the Chamber of Commerce meeting just because that's important to be connected in with the community. Another thing that we're trying to do, and I think it's part of this, is we're trying to be in schools a lot, because then you run into the community and you're more of part of it. But we want to partner with groups, whether it be IUN, whether it be Purdue, or really think out of the box of who can we partner with, and not just who can help us.
Yes.
How can we help others as well?
Okay.
I do want to say something about something Esther said, and I talked about it this morning in our staff meeting. When you think about it, we're Team Gary.
Yes.
We're all Team Gary.
Yes.
And of course we take pride in the places, in the places where we graduated from, but in 2023. This is Team Gary.
Yes.
And I think that's so important.
Well, you all both wear it well. I think that we have definitely generated that feel of the local, everybody coming together as a team. And as you said, Team Gary. And as we get ready to wrap up, I can't believe we've already had 3 segments. Dr. Esther Goods, our Chief of Schools, Dr. Mike Raisor, our manager of the Gary Community School Corporation. We ask that you all come together with us, get involved. To learn more about us, follow us on social media. Go to GarySchools.org for more information about what's happening with your Gary schools. I have been your host today of A Day in the District, Chelsea Whittington. Thanks so much for joining us, and we will see you next time.
WSTG